Hello everybody, it's Bendominator and welcome back to yet another episode of the Bendominator podcast. Today we are on episode 10 of the podcast. We're on episode 10, which is pretty crazy. We have reached the 10th episode. We probably would have been a lot farther if I continued doing the podcast all the way back then, but hey, we're back doing it again, and this is our fourth episode back, I believe. I believe this is the fourth episode back that we're doing the podcast consecutively again, which is pretty cool. Another 4 weeks, which is crazy. 4 weeks have passed since I started doing this. Every time I record the podcast, I remember this happening when I used to record it as well. It just felt like, wow. I mean, every single podcast, if I do it once a week, then that's a week since the last podcast. So it's been like this. It's been 4 weeks since I started doing this again, which is insane. Time flies so fast. Doing these podcasts makes me really realize that, dude, because it's just like every single week being like, oh wow, that was already a week ago I did that. That was already 4 weeks ago that I started doing this again. It's crazy. It's pretty wild. And this is the 10th episode, meaning overall 10 weeks. Not in a row, but 10 weeks that I've recorded this podcast as well, which is pretty crazy. And yeah, today's episode is going to be pretty interesting because tomorrow we are actually probably going to be seeing some kind of content for Fortnite coming out, whether that be through an update or through just like a patch or whatever, because Epic is currently on vacation at the moment, and I think whatever they want to add is already in the game files already, so we might not be seeing an actual like update, but we will probably most likely see some content tomorrow or within the coming days, which is pretty exciting. Because yeah, I've been kind of bored with this season for quite a bit now, and I'm just ready to see some new things. I'm pretty excited to see what happens, even if we don't get any leaked skins or anything, which that's the thing. I feel like we might get an update just because there's no skins in the leaks, but I said that before, and since Epic is on vacation, I don't know if they would release an update. I think they kind of prepared all the stuff in the files so that they could easily just like flip a switch and there it is in the game. I don't know exactly how it works, but I imagine that it's a lot easier to just put things that are already ready to go, that are in the files, than to actually send out a whole new update. Especially when everyone's on vacation and they don't really have a lot of staff kind of working on stuff at the moment. So they're probably just gonna have all the stuff they put in the files, and we're just gonna have to go another week without any new cosmetics, which happened earlier this season, so I don't doubt that that might happen. We might not see any new cosmetics in the game until next Tuesday, but overall that's not a huge deal, because we just got all the cool summer stuff. There's still a bundle that could come out. There's the Lava Legends bundle, another one that I talked about in my Leak Skins video that is still yet to release. And they also have the summer version of Verge, the Shore Leaf skin, that they have not released. That's not new necessarily, but it hasn't been out in a very long time. And it is a summer skin that it's like the one summer skin that they have not released. So that could come out too, and that would be also pretty exciting when it comes to cosmetics. But overall, I'm not expecting an actual update tomorrow, but I am expecting them to actually activate some of the things in the game that have been in the files for a very long time. Even since the beginning of the season, and of course a bunch of new files got added in the last update. Yeah, so tomorrow we'll see the end of the event. We'll see the end of the summer event, the Cosmic Summer, and then we'll see whatever they have, I guess. Because yeah, I'm expecting something. So we'll see what happens. Again, probably not an update. Probably just something that's already in the files that they're going to release. Probably also going to release the creative prefabs for the Colossal Coliseum. We were kind of expecting that to happen last week, but I think that since there's probably not going to be an actual update tomorrow, they probably were like, okay, let's just release it on next week. Kind of just add something to creative. So I think that's kind of what's going on. I think since they knew they were going to be on vacation, they kind of moved a lot of the stuff they would have added last week to this week, and all the stuff that's in the files. They kind of prep for it by adding it all to the files first before next update, because they knew they probably wouldn't be able to release an update this week. So yeah, I'm not expecting an update. I'm just expecting content. Whether that's a lot of content, I'm not sure. Creative especially probably won't get much. Again, probably not going to see any new cosmetics leaked, but I do expect like a new weapon of some kind. Maybe Coral Castle gets destroyed this week, but probably not. It is in the files to get destroyed, so maybe it gets destroyed this week, and then if they're planning on replacing it or doing something with it, that could happen next week. But yeah, just thinking off the top of my head here. Again, this podcast is being recorded on Monday, and if they did announce an update by the time I release this, then this whole conversation's kind of irrelevant. Because as of right now, all Fortnite Twitter has posted is a tweet just kind of teasing, saying, heads up saucers, this one's a doozy, just intercepted IO call that alien ground troops have begun mobilizing west, islanders should be on high alert, but they didn't say anything about a new update, but it does hint that we'll probably be seeing some new content. And again, all the stuff that they need to add stuff is in the files at the moment, so they wouldn't really actually need to push out an update if everything is in the files already. So there probably won't be an update this week, but doesn't mean there won't be content. So yeah, hopefully something exciting tomorrow. We'll just have to wait and see, and I'm excited for that. And then apparently also LeBron James is going to be coming to the game as well to kind of promote the Space Jam movie, and that's exciting. Hopefully he gets a cool like Space Jam version of his uniform. That would be really cool, along with the Lakers one as well. Again, it's another one of those things. I kind of felt this way about the soccer skins like Neymar and the other ones they released in the item shop. It's like we already kind of have the base soccer skins. These are just kind of like, yeah, you have the novelty of it being like a famous player, but you don't have all the edit styles, which I feel like is kind of a worse deal. I'd rather get like a basketball, like I already have one of the basketball skins with all the edit styles for all the different teams, so why would I want to get LeBron James other than the fact that, you know, he's LeBron James. So hopefully they at least give him that Space Jam edit style. And I think that would be really cool, because obviously they're not going to give him an edit style for every single team. They didn't do that with the soccer ones, so I doubt they would do that with him. And hopefully they make him a bit more unique. Of course, it's going to look like him and everything, so it'll probably be pretty different from the basketball skins, but I hope that they do a bit more to make him stand out, because I think that was a big problem with the whole soccer skins, is that you could just buy the originals and you'd get way more out of it because you get all the edit styles and stuff. So yeah, hopefully they do something interesting with that. I'm excited to see what happens there. I'm interested to see what happens there. But yeah, in terms of map changes, this season for me has been very, very bland when it comes to the actual map. We've seen images. Apparently there's been an image of like an underground UFO that was seen in the trailer. That was being teased by Epic Games on like some Twitter social media account. It'd be cool to see some kind of cave POI. We saw that the mothership has been moving around the map, and people are suspecting that it's going to go to Coral. I don't know, like it's still pretty far from Coral, so I don't know if it's going to make it to Coral by tomorrow. So maybe we won't even get content tomorrow. Maybe it'll be on like Wednesday or Thursday. But if that is what's going to happen, people have also been speculating Steamy is going to see something happen to it, because there's some kind of image in the game that you can see that has like the thing over Steamy might get destroyed. I don't know. Steamy has some interesting things going on there already with like the whole IO stuff, which is pretty interesting. So will Steamy see a change? I hope so, because Steamy is one of those POIs that I never go to anymore. And it's not even just one of those POIs that I'm tired of. Like, there's a bunch of POIs like Holly Hedges I'm kind of tired of. I'm tired of Lazy Lake. I'm tired of Pleasant Park, you know. But I land those places a lot. But like Steamy Stacks is on a whole nother level of I don't even go there, because it's seems so irrelevant to me, honestly. That's one of the only POIs. Steamy Stacks, I never go to. I never go to Craggy. I never go to Dirty Docks. Those 3 POIs are just... I feel like they're too far away, and I always forget about them. I never go there. I guess I never go to Coral either, but Coral's been on my mind a lot recently just because of all the hype surrounding it and, like, it getting destroyed. So, yeah, it's weird. I always forget about Steamy Stacks. I feel like people say Coral Castle's very forgettable. I feel like Coral Castle's a bit more memorable because of how, like, just because of how, like, overhated it is. Because, like, a lot of people hate on it, of course. It's not a great POI, but I feel like it's not, like, the worst thing in the world. But I definitely don't land there that much. But I feel like Steamy Stacks is definitely the least memorable POI on this map, so if it saw some changes, I think that would be very cool. Because it's just so forgettable. I feel like I can't think of a lot of people who actually love going there. I'm sure some people do. But as of like the POIs that I want to see get changed, that would be one of them. Again, I really want to see Weeping Woods get changed. I'm excited to see what they do with Coral Castle. But I'm also hesitant to get too excited because they might just destroy it and that's that. And I hope they don't just destroy it because that would make it worse. I hope they replace it with something. That's what's important here. They could destroy it tomorrow and then, or whenever we get content, they could destroy it. And then when they actually make an update or like release an update, then they could replace it then. That would be fine, I feel like. Just to have like see it be destroyed for like a week and then next week we see it change. That's what I'm thinking could happen, but I'm not sure. Again, I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen with that. And then, of course, like, all these images with, like, the underground UFO. Is that going to actually be a POI? I don't think so. I don't think they're going to do that. But if they did do that, Steamy Stacks would be a cool place to do it. To just have, like, Steamy Stacks be, like, a huge cave area. Like, a UFO, like, reveal that there's been a UFO under it this whole time. That would be really cool, I think. And yeah, in terms of other POIs, again, I really want Bony Burbs to turn into Salty Towers. I don't necessarily want it to be Tilted Towers. I want Salty back because it was unique. Yes, it had buildings from Tilted, but it didn't feel like Tilted. The buildings were in a very, like, they're rearranged. Some of them were, like, rotated differently. It was a very different layout. If they did bring Salty back, it would be cool to have it with just, like, the grass. It would be cool to see it, like, be a lot neater and cleaner. And again, I reference, like, the loading screen for the season literally shows Tilted buildings or Save the World buildings. I mean, there's some kind of city buildings. I know some of them are definitely from Tilted. Some of them are from Save the World. And it would be cool to just see some kind of city POI. And I think bringing Salty Towers back would be cool. I don't want Tilted, because Tilted was already in the game for a very long time. I wouldn't complain if Tilted was back, but I would be a bit disappointed because I think it would be more interesting to see something new. I know Salty Towers technically would be new, but we only had it for like one season, and if they weren't going to do Salty Towers, then it'd be cool to see some just brand new, completely new city POI like that on the map. But I think Salty Towers was really cool because it was a good mix of nostalgia and something fresh. You had the old Tilted buildings, but it was a completely new layout. And it just was a really cool POI. The only thing I didn't like was the sand. So if they remove the sand, make it super neat, add really cool roads, a bunch of cars, it would be very, very nice. And I think that would be a great POI to have on this map. I think that would make things a lot fresher. I think especially where Salty is would be a perfect place because there's so much room there. If you made a new POI there, like, another thing about Salty Towers is it was kind of small for a city POI, so maybe if they expanded it, add a bit more buildings to it, I think that would be nice, because there's so much space there. It never really made sense to me why they would make such a small POI with so much space. Like, Salty Springs was so small, Salty Towers was pretty small, and Bony Burbs is still pretty tiny, and there's still, like, there's so much space there for a POI, like, and they keep making them so small. I feel like they should add, like, just a huge area there. I feel like that would be really cool. Like, it doesn't have to be big as, like, Corning Complex. Maybe, like, Pleasant Park sized or something like that. At least, like, just something a bit bigger, because those POIs have all been super tiny, and I think there's so much space there. So why not? Why not just add a cool new city POI? I don't see why not. I think it would be really cool. But yeah, that's just me. I don't know. I think the map right now is my biggest complaint with the game at the moment, because it feels very, very boring. But there's stuff in the files suggesting that things could get pretty exciting. Also, holly hedges will be changing to holly hatches or something like that. A lot of people seem to be very excited about this. I'm hesitant to get too excited because I feel like it's going to be the same thing, just with like new alien decorations and stuff around, and all obviously like the parasites and stuff. So I feel like it'll be cool to get a change of scenery, but I feel like it's pretty much going to be the same POI. Just like how Believer Beach is pretty much just whatever. I don't even remember what the original POI was called anymore. But yeah, it's I hope that Coral Castle changes in a good way. I hope that we actually see whatever city POI is in the background of the loading screen, because if we didn't, that would be really weird. I don't know why they would have that there when it wouldn't even be in the game. And I hope Steamy Stacks changes some way, because I feel like it's kind of boring, and I feel like it's pretty forgettable. So those are my main three. Even though Weeping Woods I don't like, I don't expect it to change anytime soon, if ever. So yeah, I don't know. I don't even have any good ideas for what that could change to, honestly. So I'm not really sure about that one, but I do want to see. I do want to see Weeping Woods changed, because kind of tired of it. I'm tired of Weeping Woods. I don't like it. I've never really liked Weeping at all. It's definitely my least favorite POI on the map. But yeah, I feel like that would be nice, and I think it would be cool to get some. I guess we kind of have like a lot of the IO bases. Those are nice little small areas around the map, so we don't really need more of those. I think at this point, they've been able to flesh out the map with more small little points of interest throughout the last few seasons. Now I think it's time to really rethink some of these POIs and change them up. I think that's a good idea. I think Corny Complex was a good step in the right direction, but again, it feels kind of similar to Frenzy, so it doesn't feel extremely fresh. And I think Believer Beach was kind of one of the most disappointing, because it's just kind of the same thing but with extra cool props and stuff. And they did make the POI better. It has a lot more personality, I will admit. But if they do the same thing with Coral Castle or Holly Hatches or whatever they're gonna do, I'd like to see some unique areas. I'd like to see Fortnite introduce some new big POIs again, because well, last season they did that. I feel like the only really good one was kind of what was it, Colossal Crops, which was pretty cool. It's interesting how they kept Bony Burbs. I will say that I do like that they kept Bony Burbs, because it is just like they kept a POI from an earlier season when I thought they were going to change it again. But I think that it's about time to change it back to something, whether that be Salty Towers or some kind of new city POI. Or hey, maybe remove Lazy Lake. Maybe replace Lazy Lake with a new city POI or something. I don't know. They could really do anything. I mean, Bony Burbs can stay if they really want it to stay. I just really want to see some kind of city POI reminiscent of Tilted again, but not exactly Tilted, because we've seen Tilted before. And Tilted would also mess up a lot, because there's a reason they removed Tilted. And it's because everybody went there at the beginning and everyone died off way too quickly. And they've been slowly fixing that problem over the last few seasons of people dying too fast. And that would completely undo everything they've been trying to do if they reintroduced Tilted. But if they did want to reintroduce Tilted, maybe they would, because they have the whole kind of abductor system. And what they could do is put the abductor at Tilted and have it always be there, which would be very annoying in my opinion, but it would also fix the issue of people dying too quickly, because people go into the abductor and they would live a lot longer in there. I hope that's not what they do. Again, I feel like that would be the worst case scenario, is if they like bring back Tilted, but there's always an abductor there. But it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I would just like to see some kind of new city POI or Salty Towers return. Either of the two would be nice. when it comes to the map, because I think the map right now is the biggest thing. I feel like I think the map feels way too similar to how it felt at the beginning of this chapter. Because if you compare the chapter 2 season 1 map to the one we have now, there's not much different. There really isn't. And it's pretty sad to see that, honestly, because last chapter, in chapter 1, we had so many cool map changes. We had so many cool ones. Of course, we had a lot of interesting ones as well that weren't as great in my opinion, but we also had a lot of great ones as well. So I feel like they need to find a balance, because chapter 1 definitely had a problem near the end where it got too cluttered. This has a problem where it's too open and it's too bland. It's playing it too safe. And I just hope we see something interesting. I miss getting a bunch of, I miss getting just brand new big POIs to explore. I feel like the last time we really had a season that gave us a lot of new stuff to explore, I want to say Season 5. Season 5 had really good map changes. I feel like in Chapter 2. Chapter 2 Season 5 is what I'm talking about. Chapter 2 Season 6 was cool, but I didn't like really any of the POIs there. It's one of those cases where it's cool that they introduced 3 new brand new POIs, but I only really liked one of them. That's kind of how I felt in Chapter 1 about the jungle and the snow biomes. So, yeah, it's interesting. Of course, they're not going to be able to appeal to everyone. I'm glad that they tried in last season, and they've kept some of the elements from last season on this map. I think that's a good step in the right direction. But, I don't know. I would like some of the elements from Season 5 to say. Of course, I'm so glad that the Durr Burger and the Tomato Head stayed. Those are 2 of the best changes I feel like we've seen. Just especially the Tomato Head being there. It's such a small little addition, but it adds so much to the map, and I love it. And then also just I wish that sand stayed a little bit, especially if they had the sand near, I don't know, maybe the sand near Risky Reels or something, because I feel like it fit really well there. And also Hunter's Haven. I don't know why Hunter's Haven left. It was perfectly fine where it was. It wasn't in the sand, so it's not like it went with that. I don't know what the problem was there. I feel like it was a perfectly fine POI. Don't know why they removed it. It was in a good spot. And it's not like they really did much with that area in the next season. So I don't get it. I don't get why that place was removed. Hunter's Haven, I feel like, should have stayed. Also, I think I talked about this on an earlier podcast, but the Fortilla. Why did the Fortilla go? I have no idea. It wasn't, it was fine where it was. I don't know why they removed it at all. I don't get it. I don't get it. Because I feel like if they didn't remove so much stuff from earlier seasons, the map would be a lot better. And that's why I'm like, hey, Bony Burb staying, that's a good step in the right direction. Even though I don't really like Bony Burbs, it's nice that they kept it just because they don't usually do that. And, but Fortilla, the Grotto, Hunter's Haven, places like that are gone for no reason, and it's very disappointing to see. I feel like if some of those POIs just, stayed, it would have been fine. This map it wouldn't be perfect, but it would still be a lot better. It'd be a lot more interesting, and I would love to land places like the Fortilla again. I would love to land the Grotto every once in a while, because they were more unique. They had more stuff going on. I feel like a lot of the stuff is playing it too safe. We have Stealthy Stronghold. That's really cool that they kept that, but it's not even named anymore. It's weird. I don't know. I think this whole map, it just feels kind of boring to me right now. And I hope we get some interesting changes tomorrow. I'm crossing my fingers, but I think if we do see some interesting changes, it's going to happen over a long period of time. And I'm just hoping by season 10 of this chapter, the map will be pretty interesting. And then maybe in Chapter 3 we'll get a new map. I'm not sure. I don't even know if Chapter 3 is going to be a thing. But that would be very cool if that happened. I think that would be pretty fun to just see a brand new map, see a Chapter 3 after Season 10. But again, not really sure if they're going to do a Chapter 3, because the reason they did Chapter 2 is because they were limited with the old map. They couldn't do everything they wanted to do. And on this map, I don't know if they really have that problem. I feel like that they're able to do everything they really want to. Unless they want to upgrade again. They want to make a massive upgrade for Chapter 3 and do even more. I'm not sure if that's something that they're planning on doing. I don't know. I feel like this map it has a lot of potential. This map has so much potential. And if they're not going to make it Chapter 3, then I just hope they expand on this map more and more. And I hope that they don't get too scared to clutter it up too much, because I think that's what's happening. I think Epic is too scared to have the map get too cluttered like it did in Chapter 1. But in trying to prevent that, they've kind of gone too far to the point where it feels too bland. It feels like they're playing it way too safe. So yeah, I hope it gets improved a bit more, and I'm excited to see what they do with it. It seems like from the leaks that we're going to be seeing a few changes to a few POIs, and I'm looking forward to what they do. I think that the map definitely has potential to become a lot better during this season and during the next few seasons. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens, because yeah, we don't know yet. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Not really hoping for too much, but again, we'll just have to wait and see. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to talk about the update tomorrow. So I have a bit of a tangent about the whole map and stuff, but I do feel pretty strongly about the map right now, because every single time I play Fortnite this season, I look at the map and I'm just like, man, I don't really want to land any of these places, because I've landed all of these places so many times. And it's sad. It makes me sad. But nah, it's not really that big of a deal, but still. It would be nice to see some changes. Because this season is it's gotten to the point where we've been on this map for so long that I think this season, especially with how little map changes it had, kind of made me start realizing how much I want the map to change. And I already kind of felt that way last season, but the whole new primal area kind of held me over. This season, when they didn't introduce like any new POIs other than Corny Complex, and that's pretty much it, because I don't consider Believer Beach a new POI really. It's weird. I love the IO bases though. I say this again and again and again. The IO bases are great. I hope they keep them. If they remove them next season, I'm gonna be very sad, because they're just there. If they remove them, why? Why would they remove them? They kept the spires, so hey, who knows? Maybe they'll keep their IO bases. I really hope so, but you never know. They seem to really like to remove stuff from the map. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, that's what's going on in Fortnite. Not a huge amount of content to cover this week. I only made 2 videos this week, because mainly I couldn't think of a lot of good video ideas, and secondly, I've been streaming a ton. Last week I talked about how I wanted to stream more and how I wanted to make more videos. Well, I did one of those things. I streamed a lot this week, and I had a lot of fun. I did a lot of streams. I want to do a lot of streams like that as well. I don't know if I'm going to do them like every day like I did last week, because I want to make videos. This week hopefully is going to be good for making content. But yeah, I really want to make more videos, and I want to stream more at the same time. So last week I improved my streaming consistency, and hopefully this week I'll improve my video making consistency, especially now that we're probably going to get to see some new stuff, because it's kind of been a while since we've gotten some new content for Fortnite, and it's been kind of dry when it comes to making videos. But usually when that happens, I'm able to think of some interesting discussion topics in the meantime, and this week I just haven't really been able to. So hopefully next week, make some more videos. This is already a good step in the right direction. I made a ranking video of all the summer skins. That was really fun. I have a lot of ranking videos I want to make. I'm almost done with the season's battle pass, so as soon as I complete the battle pass, I'm going to be making not a ton of videos. I'm going to be making the video ranking the battle pass. I'm going to be making another video ranking another thing. I have a bunch of things I want to rank, so I'm probably going to be making a lot of ranking videos. So I hope you guys like those, because I love making those. Those are some of my favorites to do. And then if I can think of some other interesting discussions, like Another video I made this week is do collaboration skins belong in a crew pack. That was a fun discussion. I involved some of you guys in. I made a poll. I made polls on my Discord and my YouTube, and I wanted to do more stuff like that. The community tab was a big factor in helping make that video possible. So now that I have the community tab, I can do a ton more stuff like that, which is very exciting. So I'm excited to do that as well. But yeah, once I finish the Battle Pass, I will be making a Battle Pass ranking video like I do for every season. And on top of that, I also want to make Battle Pass ranking videos of seasons that I haven't made rankings of. I think I may have said this on a podcast before. I don't exactly remember. But I do want to rank all the Battle Passes that I haven't gotten a chance to rank yet as well, because I started ranking them in Season 4 of Chapter 2. So I want to go back and do Chapter 2, Season 3, and Season 2 and Season 1, and then all the Chapter 1 seasons as well, except for the ones that I didn't finish. So unfortunately, I won't be able to rank Season 9's or 8's Battle Pass because I didn't get all the skins in those, so I can't really I can't really rank skins if I don't own them. I mean, of course I made videos giving my opinion on skins if I don't own them, like with all the summer stuff. But with the Battle Pass ones, I really want to make sure that I actually own all the skins and get gameplay of them myself, because that makes for an even more accurate ranking. So if I have the ability to do that, I will. Maybe I will rank those Battle Passes 8 and 9 of Chapter 1, even though I don't have all the skins, but the rankings might be a bit less accurate because it's kind of hard to judge a skin when you don't actually own it. So yeah, I might hold off on ranking those for now. Of course, it might be a while before I even get to the point where I might do that. But yeah, I want to do a lot more ranking videos. Again, I'm almost done with the Battle Pass for this season, so hopefully this week I should be able to get that video up. Either this week or next week. I'm still a few levels away. Which is another thing I wanted to talk about. This season has been very, very easy to level up, I thought, because I got from level 1 to level 90 extremely easily. Well, around like level 1 to 88 extremely easily. And then I kind of ran out of challenges, and I ran out of blue challenges as well somehow, which is strange because other than like the last 2 to 3 days, I really haven't played this season a whole lot. So it seems like when I wasn't really trying to level up, I got a bunch of levels, and the last like 2 days, I've been trying to level up a ton, and I've only gotten like 4 levels in the last 2 days. And it's crazy because like I have no blue challenges left to do. I'm trying to squeeze every single little bit of XP I can from any of these challenges, and even just playing the game normally. It's weird, but hopefully I'll do more solo streams this week, get some more XP. Hopefully we should have tier 100 by the end of the week. That should be very, very exciting. I also want to make a whole video on how I feel about the new Battle Pass system, because my opinions have changed a little bit on it after actually using it. I still like it better than the original Battle Pass system that we had before, but I have a lot of problems with it, and I want to talk about them in video, so I'm not going to talk about it here, because I want to save it for a video, but I will be making a video on that probably this week as well, probably before I finish the Battle Pass, and then once I finish the Battle Pass, I'll make the video ranking all the skins. So that should be pretty exciting, honestly. So I'm excited for that. But anyway, we're about 30 minutes into this podcast, so I think that's a good time to get into some viewer questions. Not feedback, questions. So yeah, Commander Coral on YouTube asks, what do you think of the summer music packs? I haven't listened to them too much, but I think they're pretty good. I feel like they don't really feel summery enough. I think I would have preferred to see something like the Shark Ride music pack from Season 3. I think that's an absolute banger of a music pack. I love that music pack, and it gives me summer vibes. I feel like the packs we got this year didn't really feel very summery. I will say, though, I love the Easy Life music pack. Easy Life is a very, very good band, so I enjoy their music pack a lot. And I hope that song gets released on Spotify soon, because it was very, very good. How do you feel about this season's story so far? This question from Full Moon over on YouTube. Nothing much has happened yet, but I want another opinion on it. Overall, I think I've said this before again, but I'm not a huge fan of the Fortnite storyline, especially at this point. I feel like the season storyline kind of threw out like a lot of things that made the storyline interesting from last season, because you had Agent Jonesy and you also had the Foundation, and I thought they were going to continue with that, but it seems like they just threw that out, so I don't get it. The Foundation is definitely going to return at some point. I know he is, but at this point, I don't care anymore because they kind of just took him and threw him out. I mean, he showed up in the trailer only to just get thrown in the ocean, and I don't care anymore. I don't care about his character anymore. I was hoping they would really do something cool with him during that trailer, and they just didn't. And I feel like, yeah, it's kind of disappointing because with Fortnite, it's not like a show because their cinematic trailers are like episodes of the story. Like they're the most story we get is during the cinematic trailers. So when you are waiting so much for a cinematic trailer and something doesn't really get resolved or continued, I feel like I just kind of lose interest because they did a really good job with that in most of it. Like with Agent Jonesy, you had season 3, he showed up, or at the end of season 2, he showed up in the device event. And then for season 3, he didn't really show up, but that season didn't really have much storyline at all. Season 4, he didn't really show up. Season 5, though, he started showing up with the whole, with the logs that he made. And then season 6, he showed up in that really, really cool cinematic trailer, which is probably my favorite cinematic trailer that they've released so far, and then introduced the Foundation. So it's like, yeah, they're actually going somewhere with this. And then season 7, he's nowhere to be found, and the Foundation is dumped into the ocean. And now I've lost all interest. Now I don't care. I don't care about either of those characters, and I really just don't care about the storyline at all anymore, especially because that trailer was so confusing. I still don't know what happened in that trailer, and it's just weird. I don't know. I feel like the storyline's gotten so confusing at this point. Nobody can agree on what it even is, and the Batman Zero comics have done really nothing to help actually explain much at all. So I've kind of lost all hope in the Fortnite storyline, if I'm being honest with you. Jeffrey DeBoy over on YouTube says, "Do you think that a rainbow Axo skin would be cool if Epic ever released it?" Yeah, honestly, that would be a cool variant. Honestly, any version of Axo would be welcome, and I think that would be a cool idea. Some kind of like holographic version of him would be cool. Something, just anything really. I'd love to see. I think the things that I would be most hyped to see though is not just like a simple color swap. I think some kind of like new outfit for him would be best. Or like maybe get some edit styles for like the different colors of axolotls. Because I know like I haven't really been playing Minecraft, but I did play the a bit of the update when the axolotls came out. I live streamed it, and they have all these different colors of axolotls. And right now in Fortnite, there's just like the pink one, and then you've got the edit style with like the dark blue. I think it would be cool to see like a brown version or some kind of like light pink or like a white and cyan version, something like that. I think it would be cool to see more like axolotl colors with him as edit styles. But if they did a new skin, I think it would just be cool to see some kind of new outfit for him. I can't really think exactly, just some kind of thing for like Christmas or some kind of thing for Halloween or maybe like for summer. I mean, he's already kind of a summer skin, but if they wanted to, like, I feel like it would be cool to give him like swim shorts and a Hawaiian shirt as like a summer version. I think that would be cool. Give him like sunglasses and stuff. They probably won't do that this year because they kind of already did the summer skins, and I don't think they're going to really release any more summer skins. But I do think that there's still a chance we get something for Axo. I'm not going to talk about it too much here though, because I talked about it a lot on the last podcast. But I think that would be cool. I think, honestly, anything for Axo would be welcome. If they're just going to give him a color swap, though, I would hope it's an edit style. But a new outfit or something would be really cool for an entirely new skin. Maybe even just, like, update his model. Because as much as I love Axo, you can't deny that there are a few issues with his model. It's a bit weird. So if they were to make a new Axo skin, I would really hope they update the model and make it better. And yeah, that would be really cool, especially with like the shirt physics and stuff. It gets a little weird sometimes. So if they were gonna make a new version of Axo, I'd hope they update the model and for that new skin, whatever it would be. That's my main hope for that. Llama Man over on YouTube asked, do you think Fortnite's community is becoming more toxic? Do you think it's always been toxic? And if so, how do you think the community can fix it? Fortnite community's always been toxic, especially on Twitter. I don't think it's gotten more toxic. If anything, I think it's gotten less toxic over the time because less people who hate on it have kind of stopped hating on it. And all the people, like, a lot of people have just given up. There's so many toxic people that were majority at the start of, like, Chapter 2, around, like, Season 2 and Season 3, who were super toxic and would just be, like people who used to play the game a ton and would just complain about it, or people who did and complained about it a ton. And I feel like that's kind of died down a bit because Fortnite's not as, like, popular as it was. I mean, it's still very popular, but back then it was kind of like, that was like the hype phase of hating on this is super cool, so people are gonna do it a bunch. Now I feel like it's kind of mellowed down, but the community is still toxic. And honestly, I don't think that's ever gonna change. I think Fortnite community is gonna be toxic. Every single community has toxic elements to it. Fortnite's pretty toxic compared to some other games, but I've definitely been in other communities that are toxic as well. Overwatch community was also very toxic when I was a part of it. And just, yeah, a lot of communities are toxic. So I don't think there's much Fortnite can do about it. It's not really Fortnite's fault for the most part. I think that it's just part of being in a community. There's always going to be toxic people, but there's also really nice people in the Fortnite community as well. And I think that gets overlooked. There's a ton of great people in the Fortnite community. There's a ton of great artists, a ton of great content creators, a ton of great creative map makers. And that's important, I think. I think we should celebrate those people more than shining light on the toxicity. I think that's what should be happening. Legend Royale on YouTube says, what do you think about the summer challenges this time? The summer challenges this year have been very disappointing because they're all revolved around a bunch of creative maps that I don't think are necessarily that good. Some of them are alright, some of them are actually really fun, but not a lot of them are very high effort, and it just is disappointing to see that a lot of these maps are getting featured over a bunch of super, super talented map makers who are even making maps that are actually summer themed. That would have been cool for creative challenges. And again, I also, like, my whole problem isn't really much that they're creative challenges, because I think if there were, like, summer maps being featured, I think that would have been better. There were even maps that were summer themed that were really, really good in the LTM selection that didn't get challenges, and that were, like, I don't get it. Like, we have this really cool map that's, like, a summer map, and it's an LTM, and it's a creative LTM you can play, and the pit gets challenges and not that. I don't understand. And there's also this other map. It was like a really cool Battlefield-like map. It wasn't really summer themed, but it was really cool, and it was very high effort, and it was very fun, and that didn't get challenges. I don't understand. I just don't get it. It's really, really weird. I don't understand. So yeah, that's unfortunate. That's kind of sad. I feel like the challenges could have been a lot better, but the rewards you got for them were great. I think the rewards are great. But I will say, this summer event, I don't think it was that great. I feel like, didn't really feel like a summer event, especially in BR. Unless you landed Believer Beach, it just didn't really feel like a summer event. I feel like I kind of had to, like, force that mindset onto me by, like, putting on a bunch of summer cosmetics and, like, being like, yeah, summer. Even though, like, yeah, I mean, it was not great. So hopefully next year is better, but overall, I'm a bit disappointed by this year's summer event, I will have to say, which is a bit sad, but it's not the worst thing in the world, especially when this season has so much more to offer in the future that I'm excited about. So, yeah, I think we're going to end the podcast on that note. I know it was a bit of a shorter episode. I say that, but it's like 40 minutes anyway, so not really that short of an episode, but I think I'm going to end it there. Thank you guys so much for watching the Bendominator podcast. Hopefully we get some cool content tomorrow. I will see you guys in the next video or live stream, whatever I end up doing. And I just hope you have a great rest of your day. And goodbye. Thank you guys so much for listening. And goodbye.